Hey, it's Hot 937, hot937.com. Buck and Regg, man, the Hot Morning Crew. Special guest in the building.
Yeah.
Manhattan. What side of Manhattan? Where?
Lower East Side.
Lower East Side?
Yeah.
Explain the differences to that, man. I get so confused, Lower East Side. What's the big differences between the Manhattans?
In Manhattan, the areas in Manhattan?
Yeah.
It's everything's so close and it's so different.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, Lower East Side, the difference between Lower East Side and the rest of Manhattan, or the Lower East Side and just the neighboring places?
The rest of Manhattan.
Oh, it's just, Lower East Side is such a monumental area in New York. Like, I'm such a cinema fan and just like a fan of the arts in New York, and so much has happened in the Lower East Side.
Really?
There's like the amount of incredible art that's come out of the Lower East Side is nuts, and every other area in New York, but Lower East Side especially, are just like the same streets that we've shot music videos on have been like, whether it comes from like Al Pacino movies or tons of other Martin Scorsese movies that I grew up loving, is all Lower East Side.
We forgot, man.
It's all Lower East Side.
Introduce yourself to our people.
What's going on? It's SASH. I'm here at Hot 93.7.
We just jumped right into the movie, the
we
theater,
did.
the arts. Are you a big art fan? Like movies and stuff?
Absolutely.
What's your favorite gangster movies?
I'm a Martin Scorsese fan, so that's gonna be gangster movies. But it's also like, I like everything. I also love like
romantic movies, man. Come on, man. Come on, side. Come on, man.
Favorite movie shot in Lower East Side, man. Let's go with that.
No, really, my favorite movies of all time probably are gangster movies.
Oh,
like I
gangster
think the Departed's probably one of the best of all time.
Departed, yeah.
Now, a lot of those movies, were some of those movies shot in Lower Manhattan?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Godfather. Look at all the movies that are Little Italy, you know.
Sash, man, how did you get into this music thing, man? Growing up on the Lower East Side, what artist did you look up to? Did you say, okay, this is why I'm doing this?
It was never one artist.
No?
It was never one artist for me. I grew up, my dad was a big hip hop head, so I grew up listening to everything, and I found music beyond hip hop through hip hop, right? So it would always be like, we grew up listening, me and my brother would be in the back of the car listening to J Dilla projects, and that took us to where the samples were from.
Right.
And it wasn't for hip hop, we wouldn't have got there, right? Like if it didn't get taken back, if we didn't listen to old Kanye records and our dad was like, it's not about just what he's saying, but it's about where this sample and the beat came from, and let's go listen to that rather than just listen to the here and now of everything. And that's stuck with me forever.
That's dope.
Yeah, a lot of people, I haven't heard that from anybody yet, and he's absolutely right.
But with these younger artists, it's rare that they go back and see where it came from.
Yeah.
They're about the moment, like this record is hot.
Yeah.
I don't care where it came from.
Yeah.
He said he want to go back and see where, like, the foundation of it.
Absolutely.
Now, is that where you get your feel? Because back in those samples, those old soul records had a certain feel to them, a vibe. Is that where you get it from?
But I also love, like, I'm also a big Bob Dylan fan and Jimi Hendrix. Okay. It's not just soul.
Rounded.
But it's also like, it's feeling realness. It's just feeling like, and hard, and something that feels like, I feel like what I'm making now is like delicately hard music.
That's
right?
what I mean, yeah.
So like you feel something.
I like that delicate hard music.
Because there's a sweet side, and then there's also like some dark grim beats, right? But the feel can be there in a Bob Dylan song that's the same, and like we were just talking about. Like the same could be in a soul sample from Kanye, right?
So I'm picturing walking in Lower Manhattan, right? Walking by a bar, a smoky bar. I can see him at the piano with a cigarette burning with the ashes halfway off. Ladies and gentlemen, up next, as I can see. Yeah.
He's sitting there, we got the hat with the ribbon around it.
What else do you want me to say?
What else is it?
That's it.
Now,
that's it.
To me, it seems like music is music to you. Like, you know, if it's good music, you're not just listening to hip hop.
Absolutely not.
It's whatever you feeling.
My dad is we were talking about another interview that I did, and he just texted me and was like, "Don't just say my dad is a hip hop head. He's a music head." So I'm gonna say that he's a music head. But we did listen to mostly hip hop when I was growing up, and so it was always like. And my dad was like, my mom is cool too, but my dad's the coolest guy, and so it was always hip hop. We was always like, okay, this is what's cool.
I like it.
It wasn't until later in my life that I was like, there's all this other amazing stuff outside of hip hop that's not just like through hip hop, right? Even like stuff that I had just never gotten into, whether it was like The Clash or just tons of stuff that I just never really. I was like, this isn't that cool because it has nothing to do with hip hop.
Right.
Yeah, I like the way he cleared that up. He was like, "My dad is my mom's cool too."
No,
your
of
mom,
course.
listen, mom, watch it. Mom, you cool.
You got to make sure you say mom is cool also.
I need your dad's record collection. How can I get in touch with your dad? It sounds like he had vinyl.
Oh, he had so many good vinyls, but they got a lot of them got destroyed in one of the hurricanes.
Wow.
I think it was like, what was the bad one? Hurricane Sandy or Irene?
He lost them?
He lost a lot of them.
That hurt. That must have hurt him.
He was crushed.
Yeah.
He was crushed. Man. He lost a lot of that.
Records are like a piece of my existence, a piece of me. If
I
lose,
and it's actually crazy. A lot of the kids my age are listening to stuff on vinyl. Right? Yeah, it's coming back big time. Back.
Yeah. I was just about to say that. I helped this guy move out here, and man, just his vinyl alone, like 4 trips.
I'm like a record snob. Like I work in Guitar Center, and I see the reissues.
Yeah.
Get that trash out of here. I got the originals.
The originals.
Now, how did you get discovered? You're working with some legendary producers right now, but how did that happen? You became friends with one of them. He liked the video you put out.
So I had worked with. So Apex has been signed to Mike Dean for a long time. And then I had started working with Mike with Apex first in probably 2017. He had just like reached out to me and was like, "I love what you're doing," and got connected through someone.
It was the Rondo video.
It was Rondo. Yeah. It was like the first song I ever recorded, top to bottom.
Wow.
Did a video. He was like, "I love what you're doing," and this is like the SoundCloud days of putting stuff out, where there was no like plan. Oh, we're gonna put out a first song, then we're gonna do this or whatever. It was just like, I'll just put this on SoundCloud, see what happens. And then from there, we had started working immediately. He sent something to one of the first things he sent to Mike, and Mike was like, "Oh, I love this. I'll play something." And he just had like played this incredible outro on it. And to me, at that point, so early on, I was like,
just what? Like that. What happened? What just happened?
And I had never met him. It was just like, what? I just have this song I don't know how I'm gonna get it out because I don't know Mike. But then, long story short, we just kept working on music over the years, and it got to the point where Mike was like, why don't you come in and let's try and make some stuff all together? And that just organically, I guess, progressed into let's put this stuff out together.
How did it feel? I mean, I'm sure you picked up some gems from Mike Dean because he's worked with Beyonce. He's worked with so many artists.
Oh yeah.
What kind of gems did you just like a fly on the wall said, okay, I like that? That makes sense.
There's so many. I mean, I think some of the most important piece of what I'm learning is to just not think too hard about it. Not get too caught up in what you think other people might like or what you think other people might feel. Just feel it for yourself, and just be yourself through it, right? Like Mike likes what he likes, and he might say, "Hey, here's a thing I think would
work for you.
Is gonna really work for you." And I'm always willing to try anything.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the day, it's also like he's seen everybody do well for themselves off being themselves and going with what they feel is great, and also being open to what other people
ideas.
Think about.
Yeah.
Did you know about the people he worked with before?
Oh, absolutely, of course. I mean, when I was in high school, it was all Travis Scott.
Yeah.
And so, and that goes without saying that there's Mike Dean. And so, like, when I was 14, 13, going to Travis Scott shows, Mike was playing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, it's so crazy.
So you were in the crowd watching him.
I'm in the studio now with Mike where he's like playing something, and I'm writing to it. And then I have these moments where I'm like, I'll like drive home, and I'm like,
I was just with Mike Dean.
That's a crazy feeling.
Did you feel any pressure being in the studio with him?
So at the beginning, no, because it's more like just sheer, like being like just enjoying the moment of like just I could sit there and just watch what he's making forever. So it was never, and he's the nicest guy. So it wasn't ever like I need to act a certain way and I need to hold myself to this level. But also at the same time, me being at his house working on something, like in that few hours that he's working with me, he could have had Beyonce or Abel or all these other people who are working on their projects with him there. So there is that pressure of like,
and he's had those people in that room.
Oh, no, he does. He does have them there. So it's like there's a level of stuff being made there, and going back to what I said, it's just like when I'm in that room, it has to be truly myself and to the highest level.
SASH, growing up in Lower Manhattan, your mom and dad may have had a different plan for you, for what they wanted you to be.
Yeah.
What did they want you to do?
They wanted me to be myself. I don't think they had a plan.
They didn't have a plan?
I think they had a plan of raising me to be myself, and they did a fantastic job at it. But I don't think they had a plan of what they never saw a thing for me, and they never pushed a thing on me. And I am blessed to have such supporting people behind me.
So when you came home that day and say, "Listen, Mom, Dad, this is what I'm doing. Listen to this."
They were like incredible. I sent my mom stuff, and I sent my mom the pack of music that we were thinking for this project, and I didn't even say which song we're putting out or whatever. And she's like, "Oh my God, I love Lemon Sorbet."
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So was this all you wanted to do, or what was you doing before this?
I mean, right before I started recording songs, I was modeling because I didn't want to get a summer job.
Okay.
But it was never. I always loved music, but I didn't grow up until I was probably like 15 or 16, thinking I'm gonna become a musician. It just kind of found me.
You're like 6'2"?
Maybe a little more.
6'3"? He is tall.
Yeah.
No ball, no basketball.
So I was like short and fat until I was probably.
You was never fat. I'm looking at you.
Nobody gonna believe that. Yo.
You were never.
You gonna have to have pictures.
You were never fat.
Okay.
You gonna have to have
I'll
pictures.
show you the pictures after. It's gonna take me 10 minutes to find
And
it.
then you just.
What you was like?
So
3-4 months.
Probably probably 10th grade. I think maybe. Yeah, I must have been 14, and that was just. It was like one summer I grew like 8 inches, and
that's crazy.
It just all went into.
It's a true story.
And that was the last time I was playing basketball. So once I got the height, it was just like.
Yeah, I kind of believe you because I used to be skinny at one time. It can happen.
Yeah, but I doubt if you wake up all of a sudden and you.
No,
I
woke up week after week after week after
week after week.
Week after week after week.
You ain't just wake up and got
now I'm here. Too much lemon sorbet, man. Come on.
Yours took a little longer.
It's actually a pretty healthy one, lemon sorbet.
Yeah, let's talk about that record, man. I saw that record. It's a different type of record.
Yeah.
It's a dark record
and
it's a light record. The girl can go either way.
It's delicately hard.
Where did that come from?
The sound or the idea, I guess.
The idea of the record.
It just came from a feel that you have about or that I've had about people in general. I think sometimes the way you know someone is a lot different than the way the world or other people know them.
Exactly.
And now that's just the concept behind the song, and then the sound has just come naturally over. Feeling like I found my exact pocket of where I want to sit, like we talked about, between dark and gloomy, and also like sort of sweet melodies and vocal tone.
Like it describes it perfectly, delicately hard.
Yeah.
Every time I picture that word, I picture like a wine glass falling in slow motion, and then breaking.
There's some wine in the music video.
Yeah.
There's a wine glass, some
spilling
wine.
real slow.
Where'd you record the video at?
All in New York.
Everything's in New York.
Yeah.
Your music, is it based on your personal experiences, or is it just your creativeness of writing?
It's definitely it's all me personally is it's my lens of how I see the world, but also there's some things that I take on of I might imagine something through, right? Like I can humanize an object and write through that object, but it's all going to be based in my personal experience, what I've walked through in life and how I see the world.
Okay.
Artists you want to work with? Give me a short list.
It's such a hard question. I mean, everybody that Mike's around is probably where I would start, just because I like working with people that you can just have I don't like to and obviously it depends who it is, if that's the only way you can do it, where you send someone something and they work on something with you. But it's amazing. Everybody that I've worked with so far, I genuinely have a great relationship with them. I could sit like this and just have a conversation about stuff, and then it's like, oh, sure, let's make a song.
Okay, so you're not really with the I'm gonna send my vocals over to this person.
It's just I think people also we're creating something to provoke feeling. And people can feel when there's something that's just someone's A&R said they
yeah. But it's all about the person who's delivering the song too, to help that feeling get across. I've seen so many artists just do songs that were given to them with no feeling behind them,
absolutely.
and I don't believe them. I don't believe you was hurt. I don't believe you was in love.
Yeah.
I need to see that pain sometimes when you're performing, and
absolutely.
see. You need to have that
for sure.
If you was to classify your music, what would it be?
Genre-wise?
Genre. If you was to merge genres,
music noir.
what is it?
It's music noir.
Music noir.
Music noir.
It's dark, gloomy, but there's still some sort of sweetness in that darkness.
Okay.
Yeah.
I asked this question to a few people. I want to see what you say, because your father was a music head.
Is a music head.
Is a music head.
Still is.
Let's pretend Never mind what's available right now. Let's pretend you can go back and grab somebody who's not here right now, and you can spend 5 minutes with them in the room talking about music. Who would you want to talk to about music?
Probably Jimi Hendrix.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's a big one right there.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he had a lot of gems too.
Yeah. You big on instruments?
I am. I've played around with the guitar for probably my whole life and never really got any good at it. No. But I've written a lot of the stuff that I've done just from playing guitar chords, and that's the best thing about it. That like I don't need a lot. I can just use it. I can know a few chords on the guitar and be able to write a lot. But I played around with that. Like I played everything from like the trumpet to drums and whatnot when I was younger.
Yeah. Played a little bit, just dabbled with it.
Dabbled enough to not be good at it and realize
and
that
then put it down. Yeah. I mean, you got a long way to go, man. You're on your way to doing something big, man. I can't wait to see what the future holds for you. The record, Lemon Saute, we'll have on Hot 937. People can call and request it. The video's hot. Tell me about the first video. What was that about? The Rondo. Where'd that idea come from?
It was no idea. There was no
nothing.
There was. I mean, it was a player. It's Rondo, like number 9, like I'm Rajon Rondo, just like a basketball player that I grew up watching. This is 2017. It was like there was no. This is a
you
prime.
from Lower East Side, New York, man. You right by the Boston Celtic?
I mean, this is a like.
let him go.
There was
let him go.
That's hilarious. There was a. This is a prime example of just like the development. It was just having things that I felt. This is a time where I was just writing things that I felt sounded good, and it was all about the feel. It wasn't like I sat down and wrote the song line by line. I was just like saying things that I felt were natural, and that's a part of the development. As to where now I approach a song completely different.
Oh, okay.
It's all been a growth, right?
Yeah. Now, when you got with Mike Dean, like you said, your first song, they liked it. They brought you in. Did you have it in the back of your mind like, oh, this is gonna be easy? This is the first song I wrote. Now I'm in the studio with this guy.
So I hadn't gone in with Mike from the first song I did. That was just I had met Apex through that, and we had worked from then. But I never ever thought that it was gonna be easy, because it's like with anything. And also people around, like you guys are in music, so you know how it is. It's like people around tell you like, if you wanted to do something easy, you would not be doing this.
Yeah, nobody wanted easy, but sometimes, with the internet and everything, how you were discovered that fast off your first record, some people could take that and be like, oh, well, I'm on my way.
Well, I also think people see like 10% or maybe less of what's going on, right? So like you could be like, oh, it's cool, this guy's put out a few songs and then he's now working with Mike Dean and here's this project and whatever, but you don't know the years and time that 10,000s of 20,000s of hours that goes into getting better at your craft.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's fine. And that's how the world sees things, but you can't, as for yourself, it's not easy.
Yeah, but people just see outside looking in, they see that project, they like, oh, he made that record, now he's there. They don't see all that work in between.
Yeah. And no matter how good you are at your craft, there's always room to learn.
Always. Yeah.
There's always more to know.
Always.
My wife gets mad at me. What are you in the basement? Why are you in the basement till 2 o'clock in the morning? I'm doing research on something. I don't know what, but I'm on YouTube learning something.
You're down there making beats.
Yeah, I am probably. But I'm so consumed by learning things.
Yeah.
Every day, all the time.
Same.
My mind doesn't sleep.
Yeah, neither.
Regg, he reminds me of in high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Me and you will see a girl. Yo, Ma, what up, Ma?
Shot.
Him? Slide the note to the girl. Did that happen? That's who you are.
No notes, but I am pretty quiet.
You pretty quiet?
I am a pretty quiet guy. I'm quiet, and I care a lot about my craft, and I let that speak for a lot of what I do in life.
The girls came to him. Yeah. He didn't say much.
You got woman tunes in your archives of music.
Oh yeah.
Something for the ladies.
Oh yeah. We'll have there's so many. I'm making so much different stuff, and sometimes it's just an exploration of how I can push where the sound is now. Yeah. But there's definitely some,
SASH, you got to be hurt to make that great love song. You have to have had your heart broken to make that great love song. You got one of those?
Do I have a great heartbroken love song?
Yeah. You been hurt before?
Or just a great... Yeah, of course. Everybody's been hurt.
Okay. He might have one then.
Everybody's been hurt.
Might have one.
Even if it goes back to 4th grade, you never forget it.
Come on.
SASH, thanks for checking with us, man.
Thank you guys.
You're right about that 4th grade heartbreak. Listen, heartbreak is heartbreak.
Next time you come down, you're gonna be on Toad's Place stage and have some of that New Haven pizza.
Yeah.
We'll do that. We appreciate it, man. Hey, it's Hot 937, hot937.com. Buck and Reg, man, the Hot Morning.